Hola, bienvenidos a Homeschooling Santiago Incorporated. Fue idea de Santiago que fuera Incorporated, ¿verdad? No. Ok, está bien, fue mía. Este es un canal creado por Santiago y yo para comprender mejor lo que él está viendo en clase. Hoy vamos a estudiar
inglés.
Pero este inglés es un poco avanzado para nosotros los hispanohablantes, porque este es inglés de secundaria americana. No es inglés como lengua segunda.
El objetivo del video es practicar ciertas habilidades gramaticales, pero aplicadas en inglés.
Entonces, tú vas a practicar inglés y yo te voy a ayudar.
Hoy veremos el pensamiento completo o complete thought.
Okay. So, what is complete thought?
Well, every time we write a sentence, we have to ask, does this sentence express a complete thought?
I need you to formulate 3 sentences that are complete.
The rabbit took the carrot.
That's good.
The cat is playing outside the house.
I'm gonna make one sentence of my own. It's going to be very, very short. Maria sleeps. Is that a complete sentence?
No, that's a fragment of a sentence.
Why is this a fragment of a sentence?
Because it doesn't express a complete thought.
Do you think so? Let's see. Maria sleeps. I believe it's complete.
It doesn't make sense when you're trying to explain that Maria is sleeping.
That is a very, very bad mistake. A terrible mistake over there. This is a complete thought. Okay? It is not complex, but it is a complete thought. Okay? The rabbit took the carrot. We have a rabbit who took the carrot. The cat is playing outside the house. So we have a cat who is playing outside the house. Maria sleeps. So we have a person named Maria who is doing an action. It's complete. You talked about fragments, incomplete sentences. Can you give me an example of an incomplete sentence?
They run.
They run. That's not incomplete. They run. I'm gonna give you an example. When I go outside, is that complete or not?
No,
No. Why isn't it complete?
because nothing happens after you go outside.
No, that's good. So, do you see the difference between this sentence, this fragment of a sentence, and these other sentences?
Yes, I do.
Yes, you do. All right. What about the sentence, if I climb the tree? Is it complete?
No,
Why not?
because nothing happens after you climb the tree.
This is actually a conditional sentence. If I climb the tree, then something happens. Yeah, okay. You explained it very well. Now, let's go to something different before you fall asleep. Now, we made it clear that it doesn't matter if the sentence is long or short. So, how do we know that a sentence is complete?
Every sentence should have 2 parts,
Okay.
a subject and a predicate.
There you go. So, which one is the subject?
The subject contains the noun.
Okay.
This is the object,
Or
or the person, thing, or place that is acting.
perfect. And what is the predicate?
A predicate contains the verb or the action that the subject is doing.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, let's come up with even more sentences. Lita eats. That's
Okay.
it. Okay. Which one is the subject and which one is the predicate? Can you draw a line between them?
Between,
The subject and the predicate.
well, they're okay.
Good. Excellent. This one is the subject and this one is the predicate. Excellent. Good. Good boy. I'm gonna give you a cookie. Now, let's go with something more complicated, because yesterday we had a discussion about what constitutes the subject. The beautiful house looks very old. So, can you draw a line between the subject and the predicate here?
Yes.
Okay, so which one is the subject?
The beautiful house.
Okay.
All that is the subject.
Why is it all that the subject and not only the noun? Why not? Let's see if you can explain that to me.
Because it all constitutes to it's all associated with the subject, with a noun.
Okay.
The beautiful house.
Okay. Because maybe we're talking about a bunch of houses, and there's an ugly house and there's a small house, but we're talking about the beautiful house specifically. And then the predicate, you said that the predicate is an action, but is the house performing any action? Can a house perform an action? No? Okay, but anyway, we have a verb. Looks very old. Now, is it difficult?
No.
Not difficult at all. Okay, so how do we know how to recognize a subject from the predicate? What is the best tip that you can give us?
The best way to find the subject is to ask what or who is acting.
That's the best way. Complete thought also includes the pointer on where the sentence starts. One of the indicators is capital letters.
Okay, every sentence must begin with a capital letter.
Okay.
But there are other uses for capital letters.
For example?
Names, places, months, books. Talking about a name.
Well, you said name again. Every name must go with a capital letter. Okay? But also, every sentence must start with a capital letter. Are there any other uses for capital letter?
No.
No?
No.
For example, titles. You don't use capital letters for titles.
Yes.
So there are other uses. Okay, what kind of titles?
Newspaper.
Movies, essays, novels. There's another use over here. Which one is it?
Yes, when talking about me.
Oh, you. Okay. When you're writing about yourself, the pronoun I is always written in capital letters. Always. That's in English. Okay, so we have I. We have one sentence, but we have two capital letters here. Why?
Because Lyra is the first name to start the sentence.
No, the first word of the sentence.
The first word of the sentence.
Okay.
And when talking about yourself, I, you are supposed to capitalize the I.
Good. The kitchen is dirty.
You must capitalize the first word.
Oh, perfect. So you caught that one.
Yes.
Excellent. But a lot of people forget to capitalize the noun, the pronoun I, and some names of places or proper names. Okay? So you must never forget to capitalize those. Now, the last part is final punctuation.
There are 4 kinds of sentences.
Okay.
Okay, so we have declarative sentences, exclamatory sentences, interrogative sentences,
Okay.
and imperative.
Okay. Very good. And how many kinds of final punctuations do we have?
We have the period,
Period.
we have the exclamation point,
Okay.
and the question mark.
Very good. So first, I want to know, what is a declarative sentence?
The declarative sentence are for making a statement or declaration.
For example,
I like coffee.
you like coffee. Good. That's a declarative sentence. How do you end a declarative sentence?
Oh well, we end it with a period.
With a period. What is an exclamatory sentence?
Exclamatory sentences are for showing strong emotions.
Okay.
When someone is excited or fearful about something.
Can you give me an example?
I am happy.
Watch out!
What?
Watch out.
Ah, watch out. Okay.
Oh, so you didn't know how to write that?
Yes,
Oh my
I
God.
know how to write that.
Okay, but how do we end exclamatory sentences?
We always use an exclamation point when we are referring to something with strong emotion.
Anyway, so the next one is the interrogation sentence.
Interrogative sentences
Mhm.
are used for asking questions like, do you hear me? Or did you hear me?
Yes, I did. Yesterday.
Or would you hear me?
That's more difficult. How do you end an interrogatory sentence?
With a question mark.
Good. Excellent. And the last kind of sentence?
The
What
last
is-
kind of sentence is imperative.
What was that?
Imperative sentences are for giving commands.
For example?
Go clean your room.
Go clean your room.
Yes,
Your room is a mess.
yes.
Okay, so do we always, how do we end imperative sentences?
We end them with a period, but depending on what we're saying, we could also use an exclamation point.
Okay, so it depends on how strong the order is.
Yes.
Good. Okay, so this is the end of the lesson, but let's review the elements of complete thought. Which ones are they?
They are the subject
Mm-hmm.
and the predicate.
Very good. Mm-hmm.
We have the capital letter.
Uh-huh. What do we use that for?
We use it for capitalizing the first word in a sentence.
Very
or
good.
talking about myself.
Awesome. Or also when we're when we mention names, places, titles.
Months, books.
Good. And we also saw how to end a sentence depending on the kind of sentence we're dealing with. So what are the kinds of sentences?
We have the declarative sentence, the interrogative sentence, the exclamatory sentence, and the imperative sentence.
So each one has a final punctuation depending on how strong it is, what the intention is. Okay, perfect.
El inglés, al igual que en español, son mucho más complicados que esto, pero al menos con estos elementos podemos hacer algunas oraciones más sencillas.
Mhm.
Si te gustó el video, dale like y suscríbete, comenta y comparte con tus amigos.